Basically, the reason why I put up the blog is para maging siyang kasangkapan sa pang-araw-araw na buhay ng mga tao. But ultimately, it would act as a marketing tool for the conduct and operations of the foundation and several other NGOs. So, ang slogan ng blog, kung tutuusin, is holistically, purposely think. Pero kung itatawid natin siya sa bigger picture at yun yung foundation and other NGOs, ang talagang slogan ng organization ay let's end traditional and modern forms of slavery through, number 1, literacy, number 2, purpose, and number 3, mindfulness. Ang tawag ko dito nung kino-conceptualize ko siya ay the triangle of life. Ang gusto ko kasing i-share as a way of giving back basically to the community gamit ng personal experiences at personal experiences ng ibang tao na nakuha ko by reading books, starting conversation with a stranger, a friend, or a family. It all boils down into 3. So, literacy is just being literate. Literate sa paghawak ng pera mo, sa kung paano tumatakbo ang isang community, ang isang bansa through its economic policies, and ano ba yung pinanggagalingan talaga ng pera at paano siya ginagamit sa isang bansa. How it basically creates a cycle of the household, the companies, or the industry, and the government or the sovereign. Paano ang cycle ng tatlong yun in terms of macroeconomic view. Then come the transformative age where yung mga sobrang lumang mechanisms ay completely disrupted and are currently being transformed. Sana ma-pitch namin through the IT section sa aming accounting blog. So sa literacy, ang gusto namin is hatiin siya sa tatlong categories. Number 1 would be finance and economics, which would talk about the money, the government, the GDP, employment, basically responsible handling of money, especially the mindset. Number 2 ay technology. Sabi ko nga, we're in transformative age now, and technology, even ang dami nating nababasa na reasoning, is still underrated. And so gusto namin kalampagin ng bawat isa na magbigay ng pansin, karampatang oras para maging literate sa bagay na to. Then lastly, but definitely not the least, ay ano ba ang mga rights and obligations natin, most particularly sa taxes, kung saan, kung babalikan natin ang konsepto ng macroeconomics, ay ito ang bumubuhay sa gobyerno, at ang gobyerno bilang ganti ay susuporta sa kanilang constituents. Paano ang tamang pagbabayad, paano ang tamang pagbabawas ng tax, At basically, ano ba ang ibang mga batas na dapat mong malaman. So, this collectively will form the foundation and fundamentals of the technical aspect and the literacy campaign. And the other two points in the triangle ay si mindfulness and spirituality. Si mindfulness ay very important in terms of adversities dahil only then na mag-realize mo na you have to be mindful of your environment, of yourself, especially your thoughts, dahil sobrang powerful ng mind, and whatever you put into it, 90% of the time yun ang nangyayari. So we've basically put up a team of psychologists, engaged with several other people suffering from mental health issues to kind of form a holistic view, but we're not stopping because we're still doing some research, and we're tapping some other organizations na kakampaign o nangangalampag din as to mental health awareness. The other bit ng triangle ay the spirituality, and this will glue the literacy side and the mindfulness side. It will basically tie everything together dahil at one point lagi nating mararamdaman na hindi natin maintindihan kung ano nangyayari. Never nating masasagot agad, o baka hindi na natin masagot throughout our lifetime. But if you cling on that one faith of yours, kung saan regardless kung anong religion mo, maybe a full-fledged Roman Catholic o ibang Christian denomination, you may be a Muslim practicing Islam, Hindu practicing Hinduism, Buddhist practicing Buddhism, a Daoist practicing Daoism, or you may just be an agnostic na hindi naniniwala sa kahit anong religion, pero naniniwala na mayroong isa dyan at meron lang isa na nag-embody ng universal truth. So when you kind of tie this together, the literacy side, the mindfulness, and the spirituality, I guess ito lang yung kailangan natin para mapagtagumpayan kung ano man ang kailangan natin gawin, tapusin dito sa mundo. I know I'm still very young, and I still have a long way to go, but I'm not stopping. I'm continuously learning, engaging with the predominant issues. Siyempre magsimula ako sa motherland ko, Philippines, and on where I am and my wife to be are currently residing in London and United Kingdom. But I guess by way of pulse check, nagbabasa naman tayo as to ano nangyayari sa ibang bansa, so nagiging aware din tayo, and then that's a time when I try to tap in some of my friends residing dun sa bansang yun, so that we could just have a glimpse and a grasp kung ano talaga yung nangyayari, then we could form a view. Put up some model, remodel, re-calibrate, and share with people. So, I am really inviting each and every one of you to support our advocacy to end together, because we couldn't do it ourselves. Let's end the traditional and modern form of slavery by way of literacy, mindfulness, and spirituality. Thanks everyone in advance for your kind support and assistance, and let's catch up through our blog.